Welcome to Cat with Clarity. In today's video, we'll master one of the most important aptitude topics, mixture and alligation. This chapter is extremely important for SSC, banking, railway, and many competitive exams. By the end of this video, you'll be able to solve milk and water questions, alligation questions, replacement problems, weighted average questions, exam level shortcut problems. So let's begin. A mixture simply means combining two or more substances. For example, milk mixed with water, tea mixed with sugar, gold mixed with copper. In aptitude, we mostly deal with ratios and percentages inside mixture. Suppose a container has 20 liters of liquid and 5 liters is water. Then water percentage becomes 5 divided by 20 multiplied by 100, which is 25%. The remaining 75% is milk. Always remember total percentage equal to 100%. Now let's look at a simple question. This is the simplest form of mixture question. A container has 40 liters milk and 10 liters water. Find ratio of milk is to water. Very simple. Milk is 40, water is 10, so ratio is 40 is to 10, that is 4 is to 1. Now we come to the most important concept, alligation. Alligation is a shortcut method used to find mixing ratios quickly without lengthy calculation. Now rice worth rupees 20 kg is mixed with rice worth rupees 30 kg. Find the ratio of the two types of rice in the mixture if the mean price is 26 rupees per kg. So here we use a diagonal subtraction. So we have rice 20 rupees per kg and we have rice 30 rupees per kg and the mean is 26. So what we do is we diagonally subtract. So 30 minus 26 is 4, 26 minus 20 is 6. So the ratio will become 4 is to 6, which on simplification is 2 is to 3. Very simple. So remember, we have to subtract diagonally so that we get the ratio. Now let's look at the next slide. Now the alligation rule. This is the universal alligation formula. Here ratio equal to H minus M is to M minus L, where H is the higher value, L is the lower value, and M is the mean value. Now if we again look at the diagram, so we have H higher value, L lower value, and mean value. So again we do diagonal subtraction. So mean minus L is to mean minus L and H minus M. So the ratio is M minus L is to H minus M, where H is the higher value, L is the lower value, and M is the mean value. Understood? Okay. So now let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So let's look at this question. Tea worth rupees 40 per kg is mixed with tea worth rupees 60 per kg. The mean price is rupees 50 per kg. So find the ratio. Okay. So again, we'll use the same alligation formula. So let's solve it. Tea worth 40 rupees per kg and tea worth 60 rupees per kg. And the mean price is 50 per kg. So again, diagonal subtraction. 50 minus 40, 10. 60 minus 50 is again 10. So the ratio is 10 is to 10, which on simplification is 1 is to 1. Very simple. So we can solve this very quickly if we use the alligation rule and subtract them diagonally. Now let's look at the replacement questions. They are very common in exams. A part of liquid is removed and replaced repeatedly. This changes concentration step by step. Now this formula is very important. If X is a removed quantity, Q is the total quantity of the mixture, and N is the number of operations, that is number of times the X quantity is removed, then the final quantity will be Q multiplied by 1 minus X by Q to the power N, where Q is the total quantity, X is the removed quantity, and N is the number of operations. Now let's understand this formula through an example. A 40-liter container full of milk. 10 liters of liquid in container is removed and replaced with water 2 times. Find the amount of pure milk left. Okay. So if we look at the formula, Q into 1 minus X by Q to the power N. Okay, so let's solve this. We have 40 liter of the liquid. So that is our initial quantity Q. And how many times it is removed? 2. And every time how much is removed? 10. So if we apply the formula, what will it become? 40 multiplied by 1 minus 2 by, not 2, 1 minus 1 minus 10 divided by 40 to the power 2, right? To the power 2. Because what is the formula? Our formula is Q into 1 minus X by Q to the power N. Here, if you look, N is how much? N is 2. And X is how much? X is 10. And Q is how much? 40. So we have applied the formula 40 into 1 minus 10 to the 10 by 40 to the power 2. So if we subtract 1 minus 10 by 40, how much it is? 1 minus 1 by 4. So 40 into 3 by 4 whole square. So which on simplification becomes 22.5 liters. Very simple. So the formula is Q into 1 minus X by Q to the power N. Here Q is 40, X is 10 and N is 2. So 40 into 1 minus 10 to 10 by 40 to the power 2. So 1 minus 10 to the power 40 is 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 3 by 4. So 40 into 3 by 4 whole square equal to 22.5 liter. So this was the application of the formula, and remember that formula. Let's have a look at the formula once more. It's very important. If Q is the total quantity, X is the removed quantity, and N is the number of operations, then final quantity equal to Q into 1 minus X by Q to the power N. Okay. Mixture and alligation are actually application of weighted averages. That's why ratio and average concepts are very important before this chapter. So weighted average formula is very simple. Average equal to summation of weight into X divided by summation of weight. Now let's look at a question. In what ratio should milk costing rupees 24 per liter be mixed with milk costing rupees 36 per liter so that the mixture costs 30 per liter? Again, we have the same alligation formula to use here. So 24, 30 and 36. Okay. So we have milk costing 24 per liter, 36 per liter, and the mixture cost is 30. So diagonally we will subtract to get the ratio. 36 minus 30 is 6. 30 minus 24 is 6. So the ratio is 6 is to 6, which is 1 is to 1. Very simple. Now here is a practice question. A vessel contains 80 liters milk. 20 liters removed and replaced with water once. Milk left equal to how much? Very easy. 80-liter milk is there. 20-liter is removed and replaced with water. So if we remove 20 liter from 80 liter, how much is left? 60 liter. This question is very simple. Now let's look at an advanced level question. A container has milk and water in the ratio 5 is to 3. 16 liters of water is added. The ratio becomes 5 is to 5. Find initial quantity of the mixture. Okay. So initial ratio is 5 is to 3. 16 liters of water is added. The ratio becomes 5 is to 5. We have to find the number of We have to find the initial quantity. Okay, so initial ratio is 5 is to 3. So let's say the initial quantity of milk is 5x and water is 3x. This we can do, x common numeral we take, and we can, since they are in the ratio 5 is to 3, we can say milk equal to 5x, water equal to 3x. Now if we add 16 liters of water, the new quantity of milk will be remain 5x, but water will become 3x plus 16. So this ratio is given to be how much? 1 is to 1. So if we equate 5x equal to 3x plus 16, so 2x equal to 16. This gives us x equal to 8. Now initial quantity of the mixture is how much? 5x plus 3x equal to 8x. How much is x? 8. So 8 into 8. Initial quantity of the mixture is 64 liters. Simple enough. Now let's go to the next slide. Now these are some of the most common mistakes students make. They sometimes do wrong diagonal subtraction. They forget total quantity. They make errors in percentage conversion. They do wrong replacement power. Especially in replacement questions, students often forget the power n. So please avoid these mistakes. Now I'll give you rapid fire questions. Please pause the video and attempt these questions. The answer are in the next slide. So first question, 20 and 40, mean is 30, find ratio. So you have to use the alligation rule. Second question, from a mixture 25% is removed twice. What is the remaining quantity? Again you have to use the formula Q into 1 minus x by Q to the power n. Here n is 2 and x by Q is 25%. So, and third is 10 into 10 is to 15. You have to simplify. So 2 is to 3. So these are the answers. If this video helped you or you liked the video, make sure to like, share with your friends and subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we'll cover simple and compound interest completely from basics to advanced shortcuts. Also, my Telegram channel link is in the description, where in the Telegram channel I share daily quant and DI sets as well as tips and tricks. So please subscribe to my Telegram channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.